so made. So much to talk about. It's Wednesday, January 11th. Welcome to Fox Soul's Black Report. I'm Courtney Hicks.
And I'm Nicordelai Corte. We are honored to stand behind this desk each day to take you on a journey across Black America and the stories that impact our people.
We're going to continue to bring you our news, our views, and our voice. So let's tap into one of the top stories of today. There's an uproar in the nation's capital following the deadly shooting of a middle school student. Police say they found 13-year-old Karan Blake early Sunday morning suffering from multiple gunshot wounds after being shot by a resident who says Blake was breaking into cars. A community meeting Tuesday night drew more than 300 angry citizens packing a community center adjacent to Brooklyn Middle School that Blake attended. The shooter has not been charged with a crime or publicly identified, but police and the U.S. Attorney's Office says the investigation is ongoing.
In Deerfield Beach, Florida, the parents of a 1-year-old is in custody after police say a lethal combination of drugs were found in the child's system. The Homicide and Crime Scene Unit investigator says that the parent, 33-year-old Shanika Dean and 30-year-old Wendy Prevail, failed to provide the care, supervision, and services necessary for 1-year-old Zaire. Investigators say Zaire died from a lethal intoxication of drugs, including fentanyl. The sheriff's office says Dean and Prevail were arrested on Monday of this week for aggravated manslaughter of a child and possession of fentanyl.
Now, follow up to a story you may be familiar with. The woman accused of shooting and killing 27-year-old black cowboy Demetrius Allen is back in police custody. 22-year-old LaShawn Bagley is charged with 1 count of domestic violence, murder, and 9 counts of felony discharge of a firearm. Bagley was previously arrested in Salt Lake City, Utah for allegedly shooting Allen, her on-again, off-again boyfriend. Bagley apparently called 911. Now, during that alleged shooting, the officer asked her about the operator asked her about the loud noises being heard on the call. Bagley answered with, quote, "I'm shooting," adding that she was out of bullets. Investigators believe jealousy was the likely motive, as police said Bagley was angry with Allen because he was romantically interested in her friend.
Police in Ohio are suspecting foul play in the disappearance of a Columbus woman. Officers say that 33-year-old Sequoia Cooper was last seen on August 31st, 2021. She left her house on the north side of Columbus, Ohio around 11:30 p.m. to go to a nearby convenience store. She was driving her 2009 black Ford Fusion. It's unclear if Sequoia ever made it to the convenience store and was reported missing the next day. Detectives on the case do believe there are witnesses in the community that could help bring closure to the family and this case, and are working to establish better trust in order for those with information to step forward.
To California now, where at least 17 people are dead. Heavy rains continue to cause widespread flooding, downed trees, and mudslides. It's a dangerous situation. Take a look at this video showing a driver and passenger trapped in their car during a flash flood. Crews had to use a ladder to reach them and eventually pull them to safety. California is seeing 4 to 6 times more rain than usual over the past week, and more is expected today. And this has been an ongoing concern, ongoing safety measures, and to the point where we are losing lives. It's just so detrimental and devastating. You can't control Mother Nature. So it's about preventative measures. It's about safety. It's about listening to those in charge of keeping us safe, and some prayers as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, and it's also about climate change. I mean, we talk about climate change, but you know, what's happening in California, what we've seen happening in so many different parts of the country are an example of what climate change can look like in real time. I grew up in Northern California and spent a lot of my life and career in the Golden State, and I've never seen a series of storms just continue to batter California like we've seen recently. You know, I've been on the phone and texting with my mom and family there, and they haven't seen anything like it either.
Yeah, and most times the ask from Mother Nature is for rain in those parts, especially, you know, as you move into more deserted areas. And so to be in a situation where you're getting too much, it's like a hit or miss. This is the type of torrential torrential downpour, if you will, needed maybe to help put out those fires that were happening the past year or so. And so it's just very interesting as to what we have to continue to contend with weather-wise. You've got too much rain here, not enough there, too much snow here. It is just amazing. And again, I don't know how we go about continuing to help this situation along in regards to what we can do as humans to aid the earth in turning this situation around for us.
Well, to your point, hopefully this does something about the drought in California. Hopefully we're capturing as much of that water, as much of that snow as possible. And maybe that's something that we can do to prevent even worse devastation when things dry up.
We fuss so much on agreeing what we can do that we miss out on doing something.
That's right.
That's right. To Tennessee now, a hot mess coming out of a police department there as 5 officers have been fired and 3 others suspended, stemming from allegations that they participated in several intimate relationships and sexual acts. Now, according to an internal inquiry officer, Morgan Hall, that you see here, the young lady, is said to have, quote, engaged in sexual relationships with 6 different officers. You see 3 of them pictured here, ranging in ages and races. These incidents allegedly occurred at hotels, on a boat, and at gatherings one of the police officers organized. Reports also detail that Hall engaged in several of these occasions while on duty and inside city-owned property.
Attorneys in Michigan are arguing that the former Michigan police officer who shot a black motorist in the back of the head during a struggle over a taser should not have to stand trial. Ex-Grand Rapids officer Christopher Scherer is charged with second-degree murder in the death of Patrick Loyola. On Monday, Scherer's attorney filed a motion seeking to toss out a ruling that a jury trial should be held in the case. Scherer's lawyers say the filing that Scherer acted in self-defense, and that Michigan law allows police officers to use deadly force to stop someone from fleeing and to make an arrest.
To politics now, where GOP Representative Byron Donalds says Republicans are taking steps to impeach President Biden. Many lawmakers are saying the act is just to get revenge on Democrats for impeaching Donald Trump while using Byron Donalds as a prop in order to further their causes. Donalds was nominated last week by House Republicans to be House Speaker, if you may remember. Now, his nomination came as Democrats displayed unity around their nominee, New York Representative Hakeem Jeffries, who, like Donalds, is black. It made for the first time in U.S. history that both Democrats and Republicans nominated a black person to lead their party in Congress.
An update on the FAA outage that grounded flights across the country this morning. The FAA lifted the grounding order that was caused by a computer outage early this morning. Nearly 4,000 flights were delayed. More than 600 canceled, leaving passengers again stranded, while others debating going back into the sky.
I'm starting to dislike airports. It's like, no shade, I'm just not getting used to flying because I'm not one that normally flies until I got over my fear of heights. So I've been getting comfortable with it, but now it seems like this like the second time I came across a problem flying, period, whether it came to a delay or some kind of malfunction anywhere.
The cause of the delays and temporary ground order was due to a nationwide Federal Aviation Administration system outage.
I'm sure that's going to cause a mess. And speaking of just that, fresh off its holiday meltdown, Southwest Airlines is hoping to drum up some business. The airline is offering a flight sale with tickets as low as $49 one way for select flights between January 31st and May 17th. This sale comes as Southwest predicts it will lose some $800 million due to last month's cancellations. The ticket sale ends tomorrow, so you got to hurry up and tap in and hopefully save if in fact Southwest is offering a flight pattern that suits your traveling needs.
Yeah, I mean, a good deal is a good deal.
Yeah.
And I know Southwest put a lot of folks through it, especially during the holidays. You know, we didn't need any additional stress, and that's what Southwest seemed to give us in spades during the holidays. But in recent weeks, it seems like they're really trying to make up for it. The $25,000 reward credit, which essentially is a $300 ticket, and now, you know, dropping the prices, you know, for a limited period of time. And so, you know, definitely steps in the right direction.
I'd like to know what happened to all of that luggage. Did you see those viral pics of the luggage that got caught up and all of those cancellations and delays and that literally basically a shutdown? I'd love to know if those folks were able to, you know, regain their luggage and all their possessions. That's something that I'd like to know, how they went about handling that debacle.
Yeah,
on top of the flights.
They definitely have a lot of work to do, but they're not alone. I think a lot of airlines have work to do. You know, following the FAA glitch in the system, while, you know, the glitch has been solved for, I think you know, people forget it takes a minute, you know, for all those grounded flights, you know, to get back up in the air again. And so, you know, the aviation industry has their work cut out for them.
They've been catching it lately.
But you know, we're paying top dollar for these tickets.
We are, and it's one of the most convenient way to travel. And I know the young man in the piece was concerned about safety, but if you look statistically, it is a very safe way to travel, more so than driving. It just can be an absolute headache at times.
It can be, but you know, get your TSA pre-check. Get your clear.
A little clear.
Right? You know, it makes a difference.
It really does.
You know, and also put your mask on.
That's right.
Yeah, that's really important. Coming up, there are shocking new numbers relating to the employment of the Black community.
You don't say. The latest from the Labor Department and who's impacted most by the job market. Those stories and more coming up on Fox Soul's Black Report.